And I get tired of people trying to act like it. First of all, the man is running for president of the United States, and part of the reason he's running for it is because he's getting those campaign dollars so he can pick up the money to pay for his legal bills. That's what he's going to do. He's not going to lose any money. Second, I'm just getting tired of seeing so much stuff targeted in his direction, but somehow, some way, he still survives.
This is where people don't understand, this is what I talked about in my previous video. Trump is winning not because of what Trump is doing. Trump is not doing anything different than what he did in 2016 or 2020. Trump is always going to be Trump. Trump is going to win because of what the Democratic Party and the current administration isn't doing. Today, everybody, we're going to watch Real Time with Maher. I saw this trending a little bit. I saw someone making a reaction video mainly based off of what Maher said in regards to why people are voting for Donald Trump. I haven't watched it in its entirety. I just watched a clip of it. So we're just going to go ahead and get started.
Hi, CNN. Here's our panel. He hosts ESPN's First Take and the Stephen A. Smith Show podcast. Stephen A. Smith is over here. And he's a comedian, writer, and producer whose new series, Ted, is streaming on Peacock. Seth MacFarlane is over here. And the Democratic congressman from California, Adam Schiff. He's going to be the senator from California.
I've noticed that Stephen A. Smith has been in his political bag lately. He's been, tiptoeing away a little bit from basketball and football covering and more into political sphere, to say the least. But nonetheless, everyone's welcome. Second, Adam Schiff. If you know, you know. He's very interesting, to say the least. But I don't know too much about him yet to comfortably call him certain things and call him out on certain things, as I'm still continuing to do research because everything is just allegations at this point. But he's very interesting.
Okay. All right, here's what people want to know. What are the panel's thoughts on the jury awarding, this happened just before we went on the air, the jury awarding E. Jean Carroll $83.3 million in damages in her suit against Donald Trump. Donald Trump. What do we think? Not good, right?
This was the suit that he got threatened to be thrown out of several times, right?
Right.
Like, how toxic do you have to be where you're too rude to be on trial for sexual assault?
Right.
I think it's true justice. The only thing he cares about is himself and money, and going after the money is a way to bring about some real justice.
Do you think he did it?
Yes, I do.
You do? You think he raped her in Bergdorf Goodman's?
I do, yeah.
You think he raped her in Bergdorf Goodman's?
I have no idea. Here's what I will tell you. It means absolutely nothing. Doesn't mean a damn thing.
Right.
And I get tired of people trying to act like it. First of all, the man is running for president of the United States, and part of the reason he's running for it is because he's getting those campaign dollars so he can pick up the money to pay for his legal bills. That's what he's going to do. He's not going to lose any money. Secondly, it ain't going to be $83.3 million. He'll appeal it. It'll get knocked down. And I'm just getting tired of seeing so much stuff targeted in his direction, but somehow, some way, he still survives. I mean, we're talking about a situation where he's still going to be the GOP.
Okay, this is where people don't understand, this is what I talked about in my previous video. Trump is winning not because of what Trump is doing. Trump is not doing anything different than what he did in 2016 or 2020. Trump is always going to be Trump. Trump is going to win because of what the Democratic Party and the current administration isn't doing. Not appeasing to the majority so badly, so much so that your competitor, who has so many allegations, so many pending cases, whatever the case may be, is leading you in almost every major poll. So it's not really about Trump. It's more about what the current administration isn't doing. To talk about this specific case, I don't know the details of it, but I'm glad that Stephen A. answered it the way he answered it in regards to saying, I don't know, because we generally do not know. However, he's gonna have to pay up. He's gonna have to pay something. I don't think he's gonna have to pay $83.3 million, though. I don't think so. But he's gonna have to pay something.
Nominee. He's still going to be running for president. You're President Biden. That's the individual that you're going to have to beat. 4 indictments, 91 counts. They ain't even bringing up the bankruptcies. Ain't even bringing up this particular issue with this civil case. And somehow, some way, he puts cats to shame because he clearly has more than 9 lives. I mean, come on.
You bring up the most perfect disparity between
That's something I don't get though, because people are saying, oh, he has all this stuff going on and he still gets to run for president. He still has a strong support system. Like, y'all are pointing the finger at Donald Trump. If anything, it's like point the finger at the current administration. How is he still surviving that? Like, how is his support system getting stronger? How is he beating you on so many polls and he has all that going on? Maybe the current administration needs to take a step back and look at themselves in the mirror and be like, yo, we're doing something wrong, because his support system is getting stronger.
It's like he cares about himself, he cares about money, and you have Joe Biden, who put forth the Inflation Reduction Act, which contains climate provisions that are going to probably bear fruit long after he's gone. Long after he's gone.
Absolutely.
What does he have to gain by that? Nothing, except, God forbid I use the word altruism.
Yeah, well, look, I don't share your pessimism about this.
Something that I don't like when people don't know how to match energy. Like, when it comes to me, the same energy that I give Trump, I will give Trump his credit when credit is due, but you best to believe I'm calling him out when I don't agree with something. That same energy I give him, I give it to the Democratic Party as well. Joe Biden has done some solid things, but they know, both of them confidently know within themselves, that Joe Biden cannot run another term. He cannot be president again. So them trying to, not necessarily them, or Seth MacFarlane, sorry if I'm saying his name wrong, him trying to like glorify and make him angelic, like, oh, he passed a climate bill that he won't even benefit from, like trying to make him all angelic and stuff. Okay, let's talk about the things he didn't do. Or let's talk about the things he did do that is such a destruction, so much so that people are just like on the brinks of wanting to leave the party.
Pessimism about the general election. The reason why Joe Biden is going to beat Donald Trump is because at the end of the day, America is going to want a president who is a decent human being, who doesn't shit on other people, who has some interest in the American people, some interest in something beyond himself. I think at the end of the day, people are going to reject this bigoted, divisive figure. They're not going to want to put the country through.
Well, they have every time except that one time. Yeah. No, really. I mean,
Adam Schiff. Adam Schiff is not in the communities. Clearly, Adam Schiff is not in the communities. If you are saying confidently that Joe Biden will be beating Trump right now, whatever today's date is it January 29th? Happy birthday to my brother. If you're saying confidently that Joe Biden is going to beat Donald Trump with the current independents running, the current, be for real. He doesn't believe the words coming out of his mouth. He wants that senator promotion or something, because there's no way. There's no way. Obviously, things can change because we're only in January. We have about 8 months left. But as of right now, I can't even say that confidently.
He really lost every election except the 2016, and that, of course, he didn't really win that one either. I mean, he did not the popular vote.
Right.
And I also, I don't know whether he did it, but I don't put anything past him. I also think Bergdorf should have better security.
Has there been any point in history in which, not to say it's a cult, but has there been any point in history in which the same candidate has been put forth 3 times in a row, 3 elections in a row by the same party?
3 elections, that's a great question.
3 elections in a row.
It could have happened with, who's the guy?
Teddy Roosevelt.
But I guess
Franklin Roosevelt won 4 elections in a row. So there you go.
Yeah, but given the circumstances,
right?
What would the second? Well, there's always something going on in the country. Well, no, really, you can't do that. You can't be like, well, there's a war on. We have to stick with me. I mean, that doesn't work. It's a depression. Stick with me.
He lost the popular vote in both elections, but the bottom line is this: I respect the fact that you don't share my pessimism. I truly do. I understand where you're coming from. But I think that's part of the problem. I think the Democratic Party should share my pessimism. I think they should be on high alert. I think they need to treat him with the seriousness that it deserves, because you having a lot of faith in the American people. The man did get over 74 million votes. You've got people that are looking at Joe Biden. I'm not going to call him a cognitive mess or anything like that. That's very disrespectful. I would never speak about our president that way. But when you're 82 years of age, it's not offensive to say you're no longer a spring chicken and you don't seem to have the level of 5 and the energy that you want to have.
Thank you.
So you take that into consideration. You take that.
I agree with Stephen A. Smith 100%. Number one, I don't like when people disrespect Joe Biden's age. I don't like when people try to maneuver and say, oh, he's incapable because of his age, or try to clown him for his age. Me personally, I see beauty in age. That's for one. Two, I agree with Stephen A. Smith saying it in a respectful way. Like, yes, his age is playing a role in why he's not doing that good in polls right now. 3, Joe Biden's age, honestly speaking, has nothing to do with the reason why I'm not voting for him. Even though I've went over it over and over and over again, I'm at the point where it's like there's some things that you genuinely cannot even explain. There's a feeling, an unexplainable feeling, that I know he cannot be president. Not necessarily because of what he can and cannot do, more so where this country is heading. We need a stronger backbone. This country is literally falling apart right before our eyes, and Joe Biden's not the answer. Just saying.
You can't ignore the fact that this man is a threat.
Oh, make no mistake. I take him as serious as a heart attack.
Okay.
No, you don't.
I'm optimistic, but we're going to have to fight tooth and nail. And one of the biggest obstacles we're going to have to overcome is all the efforts to prevent people from voting.
Okay.
We're going to have to turn out our people. We're going to have to work like never before. We're going to have to work like our democracy is on the line, because it damn well is.
Right.
I take this as...
I'm sorry. I just lose so much respect. 2 things. Ooh, this is making the back of my throat itch, because this is how frustrating it can get. 2 things. This is how you know so much of these politicians are so out of touch with reality. He said they need to do everything they can to make sure that there aren't obstacles in front of the people in order for them to vote, which is true. But he also needs to take a step back and look at the vast majority of voters and their wants and desires. We are a country of democracy where we appease the vast majority without forgetting the minority. 2/3 of left-leaning voters said they want someone else other than Biden. Why is that being ignored? Why is that being ignored? Second thing, when he says our democracy is under attack, the reason why it's so hard for the average American, the average consumer, to even take that seriously, as a public seat holder, you saying that Donald Trump single-handedly has the power, if in office, to ruin democracy and become a dictator, that goes to show the lack of faith you have in the American system itself. It's like they're throwing these words out and overcompensating where there's truth behind it, but then again, it's just like, y'all are really boosting it, and it's hard for people to take certain words seriously when you say things like, oh, he's going to become a dictator. Mind you, y'all, they compare George Bush saying that he would become Hitler. So when they say these things, desensitizes a word. It's hard for people to take it seriously. So as a public seat holder, you saying that he has the ability to do that, doesn't that speak more about the American system than it does about him? Doesn't that speak more about how fragile our American system is than it does about him? It's almost like self-accountability doesn't exist.
Let's interject one thing into this discussion about Trump that we've been having all night. It was a question I was going to ask you. We ran out of time.
Sure.
The Atlantic put out an article last year, and it was called "Separating Sports by Sex Doesn't Make Sense."
Right.
And talked about how we separate sports like the WNBA just because it's just socialization. This is insane.
I agree.
Okay. That's why people vote for Trump. Because there's stuff like that on the left that people just go, I know Trump's horrible, but separating sports by sex makes perfect sense. And if you think it doesn't, you can't leave the country.
But that's cutting off your nose to spite your face.
Okay. I'm just giving you the answer to the question you're asking all night long. Why do they vote for Donald Trump? It's not always because they like him. It's because stuff like that is kookier. to them.
People.
And there's lots of
He has a point.
Trashing the Capitol? What the fuck?
thinking.
And he has
in
a
a
point
way,
too.
How is it?
it's apples and oranges. It's apples and oranges. One is more evil. One is more horrible. But thinking that, I mean, what would happen if we combined the WNBA and the NBA?
No, please. Well, LeBron would go from averaging 25 to averaging 70. I mean, you mix it up, and he'd hold the ball and create the mismatch and take advantage of the mismatch.
You're both right, and it's. I'm gonna tell you something. Like when you donate to the Democratic Party, which I have, you get to do certain things, and I got to.
I didn't even get a thank you. I gave him $1 million twice. I didn't get a.
I got on a
Can I just
Zoom.
say thank you?
Thank you very much.
This man gave the Democratic Party $1 million twice. That ain't some. I don't know if that's something to brag about. I promise you one thing. The Democratic Party is the last thing I would be donating to when it comes to money. No tea, no shade. Like, I'm paying people's rents. I am going to be buying houses for homeless people. I am going to, like, there are a lot of things I'm going to do with $2 million before donating into an establishment. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that. Hey, man, when you got money like that, I guess it ain't nothing for them. Shoot, there's homeless people outside right now, and you talking about $1 million for an establishment? Go buy someone food or something.
I got on a Zoom with Biden for like 10 minutes. So you can talk to Biden for 10 minutes alone. Like, okay, great, wow.
That was AI Biden. That was not Biden.
Yeah. Trust me, it wasn't AI Biden. But what I took away from that was that, this guy is not the world's greatest public speaker, but I'm now getting why people like Lindsey Graham are defending him and saying, like, if you don't like Joe Biden, there's something wrong with you, which you can look it up. He did say, I'm paraphrasing because I've had 100 drinks, but he did essentially say that, like, if you don't like Joe Biden as a person, there's something wrong with you. You need to look yourself in the mirror.
But there's a flip side, and here's the flip side. You can like Joe Biden, but hate Capitol Hill. As it has been for so many years. When you look at people, think about Trump. You ever watch Trump debate? This is why I was joking around and said I challenge him to a debate. What would I have to worry about? He doesn't say anything. He goes up against Democrats. It's going to be very, very good. It's going to be fabulous. But they watch. He hasn't said anything, right? And nobody.
I'm not gonna lie, the impersonation was. Let me bring my key sleeve. The impersonation, I give it a 7 out of 10.
Nobody on the Democratic side has, what is it? The pizzazz. I know you got the substance, but you've got a lot of people out there that are preoccupied with their own lives, and they want somebody that knows how to ingratiate
That's
themselves
what in
with them.
debates is called a gish gallop.
Okay,
it's called a gish gallop.
I understand
it's
that,
when
but
you
does it work?
disseminate so much bullshit, you're like Biff in Back to the Future, getting fucking dumped on by the manure truck.
But does it work?
If you think Trump doesn't say anything during a debate, you should see.
Well, now you tell me.
If you don't think Donald Trump says anything during debate, you should watch Steve Garvey.
In a debate, you can't defend yourself against an onslaught of lies and bullshit. Where you
I just said we're on CNN.
I'm on Fox. What's the difference?
I know, but we're not supposed to swear.
Really?
On CNN?
Yeah.
No. You're going to lose this gig for me. We got to go.
I'm gonna be honest, both made some solid points, but I think that the media, I think they are helping Trump more than they are hurting him. I think they're trying to hurt him, like telling us and over again, he has 91 felony counts or whatever the case may be, all these pending charges, and Trump this, Trump this, Trump this, Trump this. It's almost like their identity is in Donald Trump's downfall. Like, you're doing all of this when you can really be exhorting your energy to telling us why you are the better pick, your strategy, your policy, what you're trying to implement the next 4 years if elected again, or whatever the case may be. But media is definitely helping Trump. Let me know your thoughts on the comments down below. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on post notifications so you're notified whenever I post a new video. I said video. video. Follow me on my social media. Love y'all all. This is Udo at Connecting People with Policy. God bless y'all. Deuces.